When you think of a First Lady, the first thing that may come to mind is the wife of the president, yet the wonders behind their positioning remains hardly touched. First Ladies are actually at the top of their profession or art and deserves more recognition for their contribution to our country, their dedication and perseverance towards our country, making their position righteous. Each First Lady throughout our timeline has given American culture and tradition a taste for something new. With the advancements introduced per century, our blessings should be given to these magnificent women who conjured numerous challenges for the better of our country. These women alone being divine and spectacular, thus gaining their popularity and celebrity status.
Edith Wilson, 1872 to 1961, was an American First Lady, 1915 through 1921, and the second wife of Woodrow Wilson, the 28th President of the United States. The couple married just a year after the 1914 death of Wilson's first wife, Ellen. As First Lady during World War I, she volunteered with the Red Cross and encouraged rationing efforts by American women. Edith Wilson's role as self-appointed steward for her husband following his debilitating stroke in 1919 has left her with a complicated and controversial legacy as First Lady.
Lou Henry Hoover was a traveler at youth as her father seeked for a employment that met his standards of lucrative. As a child, Hoover demonstrated feminine traits, yet both parents encouraged her love for physical exercise and sports. Lou Henry Hoover showed a lifelong interest in the native culture and history of California, including a nearly professional study of agriculture as well as showing an interest in larger public issues. Her interests reflecting off of the woman she will become in the upcoming future. Her lead of being an extraordinary active in public life, jump-starting her way to becoming a spectacular First Lady. Lou Henry Hoover actually playing a rather important and substantive role as the nation's level of firstly discovering the Girl Scouts. Lou Henry Hoover image of a woman contributing to the success of females up to date. Eleanor Roosevelt throughout her time in office has been known as an activist. Eleanor Roosevelt advocated for human rights alongside women's rights. Her husband's success in politics allowing for Roosevelt to extend out with a public voice which would dramatically change the position and imagery for a First Lady for years to follow. Eleanor Roosevelt during office focusing on helping the country with those in critical conditions such as those involved in discrimination and the poor. Eleanor by far being one of the most impactful First Ladies in American history. Hillary Rodham Clinton has achieved a substantial placement in history by becoming the First Lady to win a public seat in office, alongside serving as First Lady of America. Hillary Clinton being able to establish faith among women by opening opportunities that may have appeared observed years before. Clinton remarkably being able to come back after facing a series of intense scrutiny and criticism by winning a seat in the U.S. Senate, proving the endless limit to a woman's capabilities despite the backlash brought upon her, which only demonstrates her empowering figure. With the numerous wonders of Hillary Rodham Clinton and her success in politics, many continue to thrive to follow her footsteps.
Laura Bush was an American First Lady and the wife of George W. Bush, 43rd President of the United States. She was First Lady of the United States from 2001 to 2009. Laura Bush worked as a former public school teacher and librarian. She championed the causes of education and literacy before and during her time in the White House. As First Lady, she helped create the National Book Festival and later founded the Laura Bush Foundation to provide funding for America's libraries. As First Lady of Texas, Bush implemented many initiatives focused on health, education, and literacy. Laura Bush generously supplied Texas with necessities that places Texas in her favor. Laura Bush making our country superior with the advancement of our country. After Michelle Obama's husband's election, she chose a number of causes to support, advocating for support for military families and encouraging healthy eating to solve the epidemic of childhood obesity. As a young mother, a fashion icon, and the first African-American First Lady, Michelle Obama became a role model to many Americans. She was an Ivy League graduate. She built a successful career, first as a lawyer and then in the private sector, which she maintained throughout her husband's early political career. She was concerned about the effect the campaign would have on their young daughters. Michelle was initially reluctant to support the idea of her husband's run for the presidency. First ladies are the president's first hand, which allows them to accomplish tasks that our nation's citizens should show gratitude towards. First ladies being able to aid the president in times of need, yet also being able to bestow their own specialties. That sensational woman that we've known since 1789, starting with Martha Washington, introducing themselves in a brighter era for women with eye-catching fashion, wear, and galvanizing speeches that suggest women across our country potentially hold something much more valuable than style and taste as opposed to a Gucci bag. Each First Lady contributing to our country, yet their efforts are staggeringly perishing. Thus, a new sequence is yet to arrive if each individual can put into consideration their stance in life that may have buried without the help of these 45 remarkable women that serve our country.